Okay, I think I'm getting used to this whole streaming thing, if you can bear with me. So I'm going to be, regularly streaming, putting up content, basically to talk about what it's going to take to be successful in Detroit real estate investing. All the different ways that you can do that, all the pitfalls. Plus, by working with me, you'll have access to a significantly talented team. We've got a network of basically everything and everybody. So, I also want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear if you are considering Detroit real estate, like what's your concerns, what kind of problems that you're having. I am very interested. I have been in the community for a long time, ins and outs, dealing with the city, dealing with contractors, agents, all that stuff, wholesalers. By the way, I wanted to tell you about something that just really recently happened to me with a wholesaler. Um, he was bringing me a buyer, so he claimed, right? And he had these four properties he wanted to put an offer on. He sent me a what would you call it, a hard money letter of credit that anybody can do. So when you're an agent or anybody really that wants to do business with you, right? You got to use your head, kind of like taking clues. Who are they? Are they serious? You never really know until they put up the money, right? Well, some people actually do quite a bit of deals with hard money. So every now and then that'll come across your desk. Usually on a hard money letter of credit, there will be a contact number and you can, I've had good luck at contacting these people. Who knows who they are? But it's something that you can help mitigate some issues when you do call that person on that letter of credit. I'm curious, agents or whoever out there that sees these, let me know what your luck is. Maybe even there's a few hard money lenders out there that we all know and trust. Yeah, that could be locally. I do know a guy who I send clients to. I don't guess someone say his name, but if you are curious who he is, let me know. Been doing financing deals in Detroit real estate for I think at least 20 years. I know I met him myself in 2008. So, with that said, he we were unable to figure out a way in which he can do his deal. Okay, because if you're a wholesale buyer, and he claimed to have a buyer ready to go, and he was actually talking about closing dates. Maybe he was full of shit. I don't know. I don't know. I always assume people are full of shit, to be honest with you. But I'll be willing to take it to the next step, even go out of my way. Which in this case, I did because I went to each of these multifamilies. That's what I want to show you. I want to show you these multifamilies I looked at. But and I took video, all that stuff. I typically like to go to the properties that my buyers are considering purchasing. Just to, because if I see something, hey, we'll hang it up. We won't waste time rather than doing a bunch of paperwork, contractors, whatever. I know enough about houses. I've worked on, I've done rehabs and stuff, so I know enough about them to be able to report on like, the general condition, to keep somebody out of trouble, so to speak. So with that said, let's get into this to see if I can do this thing. I think I can. It shouldn't be too easy, but I want to show you those properties. Okay, so display capture. We go over to here. All right, where they at? Where they at? Maybe I can edit this out. Alberto Rodriguez. So this one, he claimed to be really keen on, and I'm showing you these because these are some things that I get into, right? Multifamilies. I love me a multifamily. Unfortunately for him, or I don't know, really, even if it was a potential, but
Realtor
this
here
this was
at
nice. This did go pending
3357
as of Sunday, so it is no
Columbus.
longer available. But that was
So
pretty nice. I went
some
inside
solid.
and it's got great
Far from
bones. Roof, it needs a new roof, sure, but you know what?
this.
You don't
If
have to
you
do
want to
anything.
learn more about these
Right across the street is a little bit of
solid
it's a
monthly
little bit of
income
blight.
and
Do I show that on this
potentially
video?
have
Maybe not. Basement, yeah, of course. You know, this is a full rehab. Want to get in there, clean everything out. The pros, that's what they do. They clean everything out, which is the right way to do it. Um, a lot of times, it's nice to paint the floor with epoxy. You got to do it right. You got to clean the floor, scrub the floor with special, solvents in that to make sure the epoxy sticks. And even sometimes up here in the rafters, you can paint those. Obviously, make sure you get rid of all the mildew. So, my point there with the basement, and some of the people that know me, like one of my last buyers, I really emphasized bringing value to a property by focusing on the basement. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, it had some newer windows that you wouldn't have to. I mean, I would if I could, I would redo that because see how they were framed. Windows are can be expensive. These old time window frames aren't standard sizes. So when you go to Home Depot and put a window in, it ain't gonna fit, right? Unless you get it custom made, which costs more. So, but it's just so tacky looking, right? See that? That's a wood beam right there. All right, so let's look at something that actually is available still. So I did like this one quite a bit. This one's not, most of these, except for this one, are near the Dexter Linwood area near downtown Detroit. This one is hit, boy. Let me tell you that right now. So I'm not saying this is beautiful. These neighborhoods are distressed, no question about it. But for the right investor with the right on the ground team, something like this can work pretty well. What's
vacant
that?
house
That's
next
pretty
to it.
dim, isn't it?
We got a house that looks like it's, yeah, people live there. It's a nice house.
Oh, that's better a little bit, right?
And next to that looks like another house for sale, a two-family. This is
But
unfortunately a really
it's a very
bad
blighted
eyesore
neighborhood. It's not the
right across
best.
the street.
It is not the best.
Looks like it was a fire damage.
That's an eyesore.
But otherwise,
But this
not a bad
multifamily right
area.
here
And
could
this
work
would
out
work.
really well for the right
There's not a lot of
investor
significant
with
damage on
on
the
the
inside,
ground
outside.
resources.
Can't see
If
the
I was
roof.
an
It
out of
snowed
state
recently.
investor, I would
Um,
not
I think
recommend
this is
this
the
at
type
all.
of project
Right? Okay. There are,
that you're good at.
for
So I don't think you'll have a
multifamily in a
problem.
good area, we don't have to
Let me
worry
go on
too
the
much
inside and
about
see what I can see.
um you don't have to worry too much about theft and vandalism. It's going to cost you $200,000, but your taxes are higher, etc. This is available. We were they're asking what 69? No, you ain't gonna get 69. I thought 45 was a good initial offer. This property probably needs about I'm gonna say 60 grand probably would work. I had to turn that off when I walked into the property. I could hear it in the basement, so I had to turn that off. So that's where that water's from. And I checked with the drain that was over here in this area. Actually, I think I have a copy of a photo of that. See this? There's a drain over there, and it was flowing okay. I mean, I don't know how long it had been running, but it never got that high, so it must be draining really well somewhere. That's under the porch. There's a hole right there. Of course. Yeah, that's that drain. So this if you weren't aware of this asphalt right here, the best thing to do would be to take that up, but you have to get people who are specifically certified for asphalt remediation. Get rid of all this paneling. Yeah, I figured about 60 grand. Okay, if you do somebody had tried to do a rehab, but my guess is their stuff was getting broken into all the time, and they said, "Oh, to hell with it." That's probably what happened because this doesn't even look lived in. These new cabinets and stuff. It looks like it was never installed, never used. It's not bad. I do think that for the right buyer, this could make a lot of sense. $40,000, have a hundred thousand into it all the way. I think it could cash flow. People say 2,000, no way. This is like an $850 unit. Section 8 all day. And, those numbers work out well for a lot of people, especially people that already have cash flowing units in that area. In other words, when you have, yourself a system down in an area, then add another one on, ain't no big deal. All right, one more of these. Let's talk about let's talk about Joan. This is over by 8 Mile. It's a lot like the one we just looked at, but it's in a completely different location. It's not close to the downtown area, so for people wanting to benefit from that activity, this is not that play, but the neighborhood's a lot more decent.
And
Let me do that.
really good neighborhood.
This
Obviously,
is probably really
most of the
dark.
houses here are single family houses, and we got a two family. Can't see the roof, it's covered with snow, but honestly, it doesn't look too bad.
See the neighborhood? I was like, oh, freaking stuff. Yeah, it's not a bad block. That
Really
is
good
8 Mile
neighborhood.
right there, that main road. The door was kicked in, of course. Big backyard. When I look at these backyards and these old homes, first thing I'm looking for is
That's
evidence
unsightly,
that the
but
sewer, that somebody had replaced
does
the
give a sense of
sewer
privacy.
and PVC clean out. That's always such a good thing to see, because if not, my recommendation, anytime you're dealing with houses like this in Detroit, just do the drain dig, get it over with. At least get it scoped, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a problem with the scope. So don't even bother with the scope. You can probably get a drain dig done for $6,000-7,000. Yeah, I know a lot of people be paying 15, 20. If you're paying $20,000 for a drain dig, you're just not talking to the right people. Okay. This basement is pretty hit. There's a lot of water in it. Those pictures didn't turn out too good, did they? One of the things I'm trying to show is, here we go, right? So this is some of the worst cracking in the foundation that I saw, and that's nothing. That's not anything to worry about. What this tells me is on the other side of this wall, we need to make sure we do proper water management, right? That's what that means. Yeah, not too scary. Just got to be filled right with hydraulics, okay, and make sure on that, because it's 9 times out of 10 these things are caused by the gutters and the grading. Like if the closer to the house you get, the soil goes down, so that's where the water goes, and it puts hydraulic pressure on those walls, and it makes it crack. So that's how you deal with that. And a lot of people are scared when they see cracks. Nah, most of these, I shouldn't say most, but there's a whole bunch of nice houses that have cracks in the foundation. So I think you get this one. I do think this is a good potential deal too. You can get more a month, I believe, on this one than the other one, just because the neighborhood's not hit. I would cash flow this. I would try to, 2,000's not out of the question, because the upstairs and downstairs are different sizes. In Section 8 does their calculation, the used square footage on there, but Yeah, I think still though 2,000 combined up and down is a good number for that. So that's all I got for tonight. All right, I'll be out again this week and get back to you on what I'm seeing. And if you have any questions for me, my contact information is in the description. Let me see. How do you go back over here? All right, there we go. Um, yeah, reach out to me, subscribe. I'm gonna be putting regular content about Detroit real estate investing. I do work with buyers for homes as well. If you have any questions about that, reach out to me. I can kind of feel you out, see what you want to do, and make the recommendations as to who the right mortgage company, even potentially who the right broker is, if you don't want to work with me, or if it, whatever what you do is something that I don't do. But generally, I work in all the Detroit metro area. But once we start getting into like Grosse Ile or even Wixom, you know, then I'd rather hand it off to one of our quite capable KW agents, of course. So until then, peace.